going to happen?
We have no idea.
What would be the worst outcome is what I'm supposing.
Somebody could object if they were meeting and they're supposed to notify the press that they're going to meet.
Oh,
before they
please
meet.
don't even raise the question.
Let's
started
not
the
raise the
recording.
question.
Hush, please. Good morning. This is the June 14th, 2025 meeting of the Coalition of Little Rock Neighborhoods. We welcome all you viewers. I'm Kathy Wells, the president. I'm also from the Downtown Neighborhood Association, and we'd like to go around the room and introduce ourselves.
Norman Hodges with the Heights Association.
I'm Robert Walker, and I live in the capital of Houston Station Neighborhood Association across 630, and we have a wonderful little park that we had a party in last night. But that's it.
That's great news.
That's it. That's just where I live. I'm in Ward 3, Kathy Webb's ward.
Mary, introduce yourself, dear.
I'm Mary Henthorne from Ward 4.
Hey, I'm James Owen. I serve as Policy Advisor and Special Project Manager in the Office of Mayor Frank Scott Jr. for the City of Little Rock. Work for you guys. You're my neighbor. I didn't realize that when we talked, but
What street do you live on?
I live on Capitol.
You have a fast commute.
Yeah, no, thank you. I know you didn't do that for me, but I appreciate it. So happy to be here.
We're very pleased at your presence here. We've been discussing major projects. We regret to announce that, yes, Mary.
I ask that everyone speak up because we're
record
recording
properly.
this. Thank you.
I regret to announce that Brad Jordan, the city planning director, who was scheduled to speak this morning, called in early today. He's come up sick, he's running a fever, and he could not attend. So we wish him a speedy recovery, and we'll see what we can find out about the topic, which is how the city is going to handle building permits under the new Act 313 statute that allows accessory dwellings everywhere in every residential lot by right. Mr. Planning Commissioner, Mr. Hodges may know something about that too. We would ask you for some comments. We're scheduled to have Director Virgil Miller here for a bailout on Madison Heights report. We understand that Joan Adcock will be in the building and will drop by with some useful information later. And then Mr. Owen is here in response to an idea that we came up with to promote gun safety and reduce gun violence and deaths by promoting the purchase and use of gun safes, so that if you have a gun in your home, it is secured against children playing, it's secured against burglary, and it keeps people alive. One of the things that our speaker, Anna Morchetti, of Moms Against Guns, reported was the number one death for teens was suicide because they had access to the guns. Welcome. Come in, sign in. We're just getting started. You haven't missed a thing. Have some cold water from the insulated bag. And that was a very shocking statistic to us. And that is something we think does have a remedy. It doesn't get into the entire debate about right to guns. We are not going there. But if you have a gun in your home, what we are saying is that real men secure those guns to keep their families safe. And we are urging an action plan upon the city for that to be done with displays of gun safes in the lobbies of City Hall, as well as the police department. We also have a big community policing celebration coming up in October, National Night Out, and we're proposing that a feature of that become promotion of gun safes and tables with displays of gun safes at every event that occurs that night to really promote it, see what the vendors might come up with in the way of promotions. So that lays the groundwork for that. We would like to welcome our newly arrived. Miss, tell us your name and what your ward is in your neighborhood.
Pam Powell, Ward 6, University Park neighborhood.
Welcome. Thank you. And, is that you, Ms. Brown, signing in?
Yes.
Well, tell us your name.
Dorothy Brown.
Thank you. And your neighborhood.
Ward
Ward 1. Thank you. All right. And we're going to speak up loud for the recording. Since we have a lot of folks out for various reasons, they're going to have to play catch up with the recording. So, Mr. Owen, Mr. Hodges, what can you bring to the information table?
Well, the planning commission has gotten, we haven't discussed or heard anything about the auxiliary building planning situation yet. I'm sure we will. I accidentally walked into a meeting with some of the city staff on it, so I know they have been discussing it. But as far as any input yet to the planning commission, there hasn't been other than just the recognition that it's happened. So,
Well, we are still looking forward to finding out what will happen on that front. Okay, Mr. Owen, tell us what we persuaded City Hall to do.
So, first off, thank you guys for having me. I'm happy to be here, and I know, well, I know that there's some things that I don't know, and so want to have a conversation with you guys to make sure that I have all the details. The thing that I did get from your email that was sent to me was that right now, so City Hall, within City Hall, by order of the city manager, you can't, weapons are not allowed. So I'm not sure that that's the ripest place, because I'm not sure that we want to invite guns in for a gun safe thing there. But what I think is really right is that National Night Out conversation. And so some of the things that I wanted to report on was, I think as far as an education point, I got the stats from the chief, and about 6 guns a week are stolen from cars. And so that's a big education point. You know, you do the math on that. That's about 300 guns each year that are stolen from cars. And so, you know, gun safes to get them out of your car. And so that's just one point that I wanted to share here. That's a big point of education for the city and for the police department is, you know, if you guys have friends, neighbors, make sure they're not leaving their guns in the car, because then those are, we've you know, hear from other jurisdictions where they'll say, hey, we found this gun was used in a crime, and able to trace it back to a police report that was filed here. And so we know that that's just one big thing.
When
that's
the
on the same
victims
issue.
report the theft of that gun from the car, are they asked the reason they were in fact keeping a gun in the car? And do you tally those? Do you know what is the reason these folks are carrying their guns in their cars?
I don't know that.
We'd like to
yeah.
research that.
Okay. So what? But I think that's one point of one big thing that's kind of, I think, in that low hanging fruit on that education standpoint that wanted to bring up.
But only if you can address why they're putting them there. So that's a missing ingredient for that whole publicity effort.
Sure, but I think getting that information out is important too, because there are some people that may just have been where they're maybe they grew up on a farm and they always had a gun in their car
On a farm,
whatever
you
reason.
have a gun rack in the back glass of your pickup truck,
Mhm.
and it's a 30-06 deer rifle. So that's a different conversation.
Okay. Well,
Guns under the seat are a city activity, I would submit.
well, I'm not a gun owner myself, so I think you might know more than me on that. But we do. The police department does give away gun locks at community events. I don't know how many we've given out this
You're
year.
talking about the trigger locks that go down the barrel,
I believe so.
and are they the ones that are secured with a fingerprint?
I don't know that.
Because that was one of the important pieces of information that Morchetti brought to us 2 months ago, was they discovered that Curious Children had been able to release the older variety, and that her organization has become a very fierce advocate for the modern type that's manufactured with a fingerprint release, because that keeps it safe, keeps the kids from releasing it. So if the police department's giving that one out, great. If they're not, they should go to that from what we're hearing.
Okay.
Yes, Robert?
She told us they're available from Amazon for $70, and your thumb would release it. If you're the kind of person who thinks you have a firearm beside your bed for safety, your thumb can release it. So there you have it. You can leave it loaded and beside your bed, and only you can get it out of the case. So what's the gun say? Somebody could probably steal the whole thing, but
That's a different category. Why would they do that? They'd have to ruin it, I think, to get to it, but moving right along.
Yeah.
The main thing is that the kids in the house, someone who is depressed in a suicidal rage, as teenagers have been, because that's the number one cause of death for teens is suicide. And if they pick up a gun, they're almost certain to succeed. If they're attempting another method, we have a window of a chance to save their lives. So that's what we're focused on in this particular push.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm, I know people personally that have been affected by similar things. But my question: have you guys? I as we talk about gun education and things like that. Have you guys engaged at all with Game and Fish? Because I know they have.
Oh no, we listened to Morchetti talk about what the Little Rock Public Safety Commission has done. In fact, did you see that memo resulting from her appearance 2 months back? We discovered that the commission had done a great deal of research, which no one has posted. That they have a great many public education pushes and initiatives they shared with us, like the gun safes on display. I'm sorry, I've got a new phone. I don't know how to shut the damn thing up. Hold on.
is it an Apple?
No, it's a Motorola.
You can always turn it on.
That's what I'm trying to do. Thank you. Apologies for the interruption. So, let me encourage you to go back and go over that list of actions. You're sitting there on a quantity of valuable material that has not gotten out and could be the basis for postings on the Facebook page by the police, other places. I know you have a whole social media outlet that you regularly pursue posting. I'm not skilled at that, and I'm not really a Facebook user, so I am not able to pinpoint stuff.
Yeah.
But I know that Morchetti kept giving us item after item after item. And we would ask, and where is that posted? Where could we refer people to that campaign? And she said, well, nobody's posted it yet. The one thing that she did have were there were 2 pamphlets, one of which had the statistics about the teens' suicide rate of success, and the other general one And these were trifold flyers, and she sent us the copy master, and we sent that out to our mailing list with, as an attachment, so they could copy it and print it off and hand it out in their home neighborhoods. And we hope that people are doing that. I haven't had a chance to ask if anyone has done that yet, but the city can just as well put those flyers up on the Public Safety Commission page, so they can be downloaded and distributed from there. So that's a resource for you, I submit to you.
Yeah, and again, I wish I had been here and heard Anna's presentation.
There's a slideshow. She can send it to you. She sent it to us.
Yeah, no, she was a sustainability commissioner, and I liaised with that commission before she left, or before she got appointed public safety. So I'll reach out to her and get those slides. Thank you for that.
Could we circle back to what we might do for National Night Out October the 7th?
Mm-hmm. So I wanted to kind of ask what because all I have to go off of is what was in your email, which was maybe we can do something for National Night Out. I think that's a great idea to have education there around gun safety to show some of that technology that we just talked about. But I wanted to know what you guys were thinking. Not an event
Hand
planner.
out the stack of the flyers we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. And another is to get with the vendors of these gun safes. And we're talking about both the fingerprint trigger locks and the actual boxes in which you secure the gun and put it in the closet at the house. And there might even be some kind of special one-day discount promotion if you buy it at your neighborhood block party. But whether that comes to any fruition or not, there would be a table with a display of a gun safe and a trigger lock at every event that we know is going to occur, because you register with the city. So you know if there's going to be 7 or 10 or 14 or 20. So just plan for 7 tables or 20 tables and arrange for displays. And they can be credited to, Gun Safe Company X, courtesy of. That's fine. We want people to get connected with all of that.
Yeah.
But pursue that direction. Is that something that you would be comfortable doing?
So set 7, 10, 12.
Tables
what are
and
those?
events. How many neighborhoods are going to have a party that night?
Oh, okay. So have a
At each event,
have a
have a table.
have a
With a display.
educational table.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean I think that's so last year for National Night Out, I know I spent some time. I went to 2 or 3 of them. But
Didn't they all
I
have
spent
some kind of table and
yeah,
display?
Yeah, I spent some time at MacArthur Park at the one there, and there was a kind of just that little gazebo in MacArthur Park.
Yes, I do know it. I was there too.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I think there's ample opportunity to get a table in situation and use that. I think that's a great time to do that education, and I think that's a right area that's right for collaboration there between.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we think so too.
Yeah, would you guys? I'm just thinking, and I don't know how this works, but would you guys be the ones tabling, or are we looking for an outside organization to table?
At this point, we need to bring Laura Martin into the conversation, who's
Okay.
the community liaison in the office of Chief Helton at the police department.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a particular responsibility of hers and has been for many years. She and I do a lot of civic business together, so her name immediately comes to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a question we give her. I know that
Yeah.
when the events are, call it registered with the city, because we're asking for city resources. My own downtown neighborhood association is always asking for the canine and the horse patrol to come. We are very, very, very fond of that. So you know that we are at this place at this time because the city's sending a horse and a dog. That's the point at which the city can say, and can you give space for a gun safe table?
Mm-hmm.
And that comes from the city, and that agreement comes from the event organizer, the neighborhood association.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have at that point organized something from the gun safe vendors, because it's going to be their job. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure they're
Yeah,
not going to
so
just
that's-
toss one out there and leave it unattended.
No, that's what I
You
was
know,
trying
that's
to,
what I'm saying.
yeah, and that's like who is at this table, right? I guess is, and that was
Can
my
be
question.
determined in several ways. The vendor could do it.
Mm-hmm.
The police department, which is also going to have a presence at each of these events, could have someone who's basically connected to the table. There's no reason you can't go talk to Officer Friendly at the gun safe display table about whatever the topic of the evening might be, and my neighborhood
Yeah.
issues, and isn't it great that we solved this problem on the corner, and all those things that are the conversation topics, because they can be fixed in place.
Yeah, no, I think like let's.
And then there's the roving patrol that also we know is going to be coming from one event to the next
Yeah.
amongst the officers, because Chief Hilton tries to visit all of these sites, if you'll remember.
Yeah, it's a great event. I love it and hope we bring it back to Skid Station. I know that there was one there a couple years ago that went to. That was a lot of fun. Yeah,
Might crank one up again.
at the Boys and Girls Club.
Markham on that lovely lawn until somebody got through it.
So what I would like to do, so I'm happy to take this forward, and as conversations start again, I'm not an event planner. It's not my strength. But
No, you're going to delegate that to those who are.
as we have those conversations, I can take that forward. That hey, as we're talking about National Night Out, as we get later this summer and those plans start assembling, happy to put my voice in there and say, hey, what about a gun safe table? We should really have a gun safe table.
We had also communicated all of this to Laura Martin and to Chief Hilton.
Okay.
And in
And I can
fact, one
follow-
of the things was we'd asked for a gun safe display in the lobby of the police headquarters as well as City Hall. So those are parallel requests that went in at the same time. I've not heard back from her, but of course they have been, shall we say, overwhelmed by recent events of graduation crowds and so forth.
I
think that's probably in their rearview mirror now. So let me encourage you to call Laura Martin next and collaborate with her on the next steps.
Yeah.
And we'll just continue to promote it and publicize it and ask for people to plan it. If somebody could supply us with gun safe vendors supportive to this idea, it would certainly be possible for individual neighborhoods to contact Gun Safe Company X and invite them to their event. If we had somebody we knew to contact, but you can assume that we don't know those names or what the city would prefer. And we're happy to defer to the city coming up with the gun safe vendors and just saying, if you want a table, here's how it's going to work out, and you two can settle the details about where to do it that night. But comes from the city.
Yeah, and I
You
don't.
might feel better if it comes from the city.
Yeah, I don't know how we procure those things. I know the immediate flag that comes up is if we're procuring something, right? I think we can't show preference to any certain vendor. But I
Goodness,
think
you
we
need
could,
to invite everybody in the city that sells them, absolutely.
I think we could see who within our procurement system is registered as a vendor with the city, and we could share that.
Oh,
list.
no, please. Wrong one, wrong direction. Let me redirect your attention.
Are we not trying to get a list of
What we're trying to do
vendors,
is not
gun safe
get people
vendors?
that are selling to the city. What we're trying to do is to get a list of everybody in the city of Little Rock that's selling gun safes as well as guns. And just put out a blanket invitation to promote the safety with the gun safe this time and date. And if you want to register with the city, kind of like our neighborhoods do, then you respond to this overture. It'll be the night of October the 7th from date, hour to hour, something probably like 3 to 8 or I don't know, whatever. You then take it from there. But you don't try to exclude anybody. And we would try and get everybody who's interested heard from and connected with the city leadership and with the neighborhood leaders. If it turns out, of course, we're worried that maybe only one or two are going to be interested in taking part in this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the concern. But in the happy event that out of, I don't know,
Yeah.
25 vendors of guns, and I'm guessing here,
Yeah. Have
that all 25 say, oh yeah, I want to have my name attached to a courtesy label that we put a display on that night, then we figure that out. I don't see any reason why you couldn't put 25 gun safes on the table with 25 courtesy labels. You definitely want to have somebody in attendance, but at that point, see, the vendors are going to want somebody there to make sure nobody walks off with their gun safe.
right.
Or they might even take orders for gun safes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you'd want that to work. That's a question that could be going yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
My inclination is to say call the store and go into the store and do the purchase at the store,
Mm-hmm.
not that night at National Night Out.
Yeah. And that's
Does that make sense to all of you folks? Do you see another way that we should be going instead?
Yeah, the city should have a list of vendors,
not yeah.
and, because every business has to register with the city.
And that's
You've got a
exactly-
business license.
That's exactly what I was saying is I think we can pull that list. I think from my perspective, I just don't want to be preferential because we can't.
No, this
we
would
can't.
be
And
easy to be wide open. Exclude nobody.
Well, yeah, because you go from Walmart, which sells guns, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some places
to
like,
the place out in the mall down
Otter Creek.
out of, I guess Otter Creek, but whatever that thing is down there, that's a huge national seller.
and some places like Bill's Lock and Safe might sell the
Only the safe.
safes, but not sell guns.
By golly, that is so true. Thank you. Never got thinking that far ahead.
But so here's what I'll do. I can look up that list, and I can also follow up with Laura and Chief, and then I can report back.
Wonderful. Just send me an email, and you've got it, I think, because of the flow of information.
Yeah, and wordsmith.
That's right.
Yeah, that
Hammer
was-
out words as an advocate.
My mom might try to fight you for that email. She also calls herself a wordsmith.
Well, that's why I tacked on the LR in case there were others out there.
Yeah.
But
It's not an exclusive title.
it is not an exclusive title. No.
But yeah, so I'll follow up with you with some more information. And the good thing is we have some runway here. It's not like the National Night Out is tomorrow. It's coming quicker though, right?
Well-
I can't believe it's already halfway through June.
What is useful in that regard is we're sitting here at June.
Mm-hmm.
In a monthly meeting update and next steps planning on a task list for an event.
Mm-hmm.
We have July, August, September. So we have 3 more report progress and take next steps actions.
Yeah.
So that's not many. And it means that you don't slack off and you don't bother not to get around to it. So I will be definitely asking you for updates by email in advance of our next meetings.
Yeah.
And I'll be continuing to talk with Laura. And as it happens, I just did some business with Bill's Locksmith Company, so I'm reminded to talk to them on Monday about whether they in fact do that and how they like the idea of having a flyer out at 7 or 10 events to promote gun safety and the sale of their safes. And
Yeah.
that is a really useful addition to the conversation. Thank you, Mary.
But yeah, so I'll follow up. Thank you again. I just want to say thank you for having me.
Well, we're so grateful that you're here. You're certainly welcome to stay while we discuss other things. We end up with lively conversations.
Yeah.
One of the things that you might find
love to
interesting
stick around for a little bit.
for a little bit
I-
anyway. That's
yeah,
fine. That's
yeah.
fine.
Thank you.
We had ourselves been looking into the accessory dwelling issue. And one of the concerns we know that Brad Jordan and his permit department is grappling with is the fact that the statute said basically they have now nullified and disallowed city design and detail requirements, which means that you could put up any kind of box in your backyard, no matter what the design of your house. I live in an historic district with a 1922 house that's in the Governor's Mansion Historic District. I have credits as contributing to the significance of the district. That is a money valuable asset to my property. I have no interest in putting up a black box out of particle board if somebody's going to pursue cheap rents, because you see, the sad publicity point was we need affordable housing. We need to put more houses everywhere. We need denser housing. And you can make an argument for that, but not at the expense of the existing property owner and the existing homeowner. Because there's also a law, if you'll remember, that gives you the right to the quiet enjoyment of your own property. And so the tension in urban living is between dealing with the protection of residents in their homes today, in a building permit for some kind of new house, and the proposal of the new house, and whether that is going to be acceptable or detrimental or harm the values of the neighborhood or even the real estate values on appraisals coming up. One of the proposals was that you could put 500 square foot tiny houses everywhere. And my conversation seems to be that they bring tiny appraisals. Yes, you could put somebody in there, but you're not going to add to your real estate appraisal, and you might not keep it at the same level. Then there is the companion question that they're grappling with. You can roll in an RV in your backyard and declare that an accessory dwelling. The city has no basis to reject the permit to do that. That's what you've heard, right?
Yep.
That's what I've heard. And then where are you? Because those have their own set of real estate pluses and negatives, mostly negatives, because they're often poorly maintained. They're often used to destruction. And so we're grappling with that one. And we are very interested to learn what the city planning department is going to do and to say. And in fact, if Joe Dokes shows up and he wants a building permit to put an accessory dwelling in, or roll in an RV and get that permitted as an accessory dwelling, is there any requirement they can impose? They've got minimum health and safety. They have got legal bans on design and other types of controls. So is there a way that they can refuse Joe Dokes unless and until he makes these changes? We are in the beginning of a brand new, very uncertain world of building housing in the city of Little Rock, and we do not know what the future holds. So we are following this very closely because it affects our neighborhoods. And we hope that we can be heard when there's a question about lowering values of existing homes. We expect to be very vocal about that. Yes, Robert?
Is this a Arkansas legislature mandate that I didn't see?
Yeah.
Yes, Act 313 of 2025. It's like a one-page law, and it just says, from the passage of this act, there's accessory dwellings allowed in every residential property, period.
It was a late addition to the agenda the last few days of the session, where, as we know, almost anything can get passed. And it did, so.
And there is a case for positives out of that. But it's not going to be a particle board box. It's not going to be an RV that you'll run in the ground because they're, tin and stuff. And so we have to figure a way forward. And I'm really sorry that Brad Jordan fell ill, because we were hoping for some light on the subject, and we're not going to get that, and we don't know when we'll get it. But so far, they've not asked for permits, as far as I know, and so that at least holds off the spear point and the threat of lawsuits, because Joe Dokes asked for a permit and the city refused it, and they went to court. That seems a possible future. And if the city does refuse, and they expect to be taken to court, they're going to have a defense. Is there something we can help you with?
Well, Ms. Adcock has to make copies for.
Oh, that is so gracious. Thank you so much. She's at the meeting across the hall and will bring us information when she's finished across the hall.
Okay.
So thank you so much for that.
Yes, ma'am.
And we do have these new versions, updated versions of the Directory of Health. There's some over there by the sign-in sheet to take.
Yeah, I think the one other option for those who want to do this is to just wall off a bedroom and bathroom at the end of your house and put in an exterior door, and you've got a.
That is very true. If you've got the kind of architecture that allows you to add a new door to the far end of the hall, then you could create what would be a permitted accessory dwelling. Thank you so much, Mr. Owen. We'll be in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to following up.
This is going to be a fun project. We're going to do some good. The city's going to generate a lot of good publicity for itself.
No, it makes sense. So
Yes, it does. Thank you.
I'll follow up with you guys,
Thank you so much. We look forward to that.
and hope all y'all have a good, safe weekend.
Yes, you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. May I ask if you have some issues to bring to the table from your neighborhoods? Well, at this point, we're waiting on Joan Adcock. Can we interrupt the recording, or just maybe shut it down and start a new one?
It will be shutting it down and starting a new
Let's shut it
one.
down. We're going to take a pause here and await Director Joan Adcock, who's promised to visit with us.